Hi, my name is Amanda Parmalee, and the following is my video presentation on my textual analysis project. The following is my thesis statement. For my organizational textual analysis project, I will explore the importance of adequate crisis communication. Being employed in the journalism business, I can see on a daily basis the effects that poor crisis communication planning can have on an individual or corporation. I plan on analyzing the various ways that crisis communication can play a role in our daily lives, in addition to within a corporate setting. For example, how does a celebrity deal with scandal involving hacked photos? What ideas remain constant no matter the situation or size of the quote brand? How do our interpretations of celebrities as symbols rather than individuals change the course of action on a successful crisis communication plan? To explore my theoretical framework, I looked at the safe data storage and the quote Celebgate, which was the end of the summer's release of nude or partially nude photos of celebrities including Jennifer Lawrence and Kaylee Cuoco. For all of us, I think that this is a really important thing to analyze and understand since we are so integrated with technology in our daily lives. I know that most of us probably have Snapchat and Twitter and Facebook and Vine and Instagram and all these different things. And we also probably utilize the cloud if we have an iPhone. And all of these things leave us so susceptible to being hacked, whether you're a CEO of a major company, or whether you're a student at Queen's University. One thing I mentioned in my thesis statement was the identification of celebrities as symbols, which is taken from Robert Craig's semiotic tradition. Quote, with its focus on the sign and symbol, semiotics integrates an amazingly broad set of theories dealing with language, discourse, and nonverbal actions, end quote. And what I basically mean is how we don't necessarily see celebrities as people. You kind of think that they've put themselves in the limelight and thus created a different persona, that they're more susceptible and it's more appropriate to target them and to seek them out for autographs or being hacked simply for who they are. We don't necessarily see them as the person Jennifer Lawrence, it's the celebrity Jennifer Lawrence. Following the leak of these photos, Jennifer Lawrence actually addressed the situation and the symbolism of celebrities in a very direct way. And the following is a quote from her. Just because I'm a public figure, just because I'm an actress, does not mean that I asked for this. It does not mean that it comes with the territory. It's my body and it should be my choice, and the fact that it's not my choice is absolutely disgusting. I can't believe that we even live in a kind of world. I started to write an apology, but I don't have anything to say I'm sorry for. It's not a scandal, it's a sex crime. That's why these websites are responsible. Just the fact that somebody can be sexually exploited and violated, and the first thought that crosses somebody's mind is to make a profit from it. I can't imagine being that thoughtless and careless and so empty inside. One thing that Jennifer Lawrence directly kind of addresses is behind the scenes is how important it is to have a crisis communication plan. That well thought out and perfectly addressed statement is something that all celebrities are somewhat, at least, should be mentally prepared for in the face of a crisis. In the midst of all of this, public relations strategist, writer, and consultant Amanda Ray published her 3 best practices with crisis communications that any savvy communicator can leverage, in which she included a quick response, a statement that is short, direct, and to the point, and a statement that does not dramatize the situation. All of these things were perfectly addressed in Jennifer Lawrence's statement and can be utilized for anyone who decides to create a crisis communication plan. According to Malozzi, there are 4 phases to crisis communications. Crisis preparedness, which is the crisis communication plan, the initial response, maintaining ongoing corrective actions and reactions until the crisis has run its course, and evaluation and follow-up. So what this is saying is your first step should be to be prepared for any crisis. Your next step should be to go ahead and start your initial response to any crisis you encounter. Your third step should be maintaining ongoing corrective actions and reactions until the crisis has run its course. For example, if you're arrested for drunk driving, your maintaining ongoing corrective actions would be to make sure that you're never put into a situation or put yourself into a situation where this could become a problem ever again. And evaluation and follow up. And this is just kind of the continuation and look back of how did this happen and what can I do to prevent it from happening ever again. When identifying the two ends of a crisis communication plan, I believe there's two analytical methods that work to describe it well: rhetorical analysis and content analysis. Rhetorical analysis basically encompasses all of the ways that humans can use symbols to affect those around them and to construct the world in which we live. The tradition is a solid basis to use to examine the need for a crisis communication plan because it analyzes the interaction between various parties. For example, you can use rhetorical analysis to explain the interaction between a newspaper that incorrectly identifies a major player in a breaking news story and the agitated readers who call, email, post to social media, etc., regarding the mistake that the newspaper made. In addition, content analysis, which is a general set of techniques useful for analyzing and understanding collections of texts, can help examine ideas such as the framing effect, the viewer's understanding of the information being provided to them. By examining the research behind rhetorical and content analysis, people are better able to organize direct and appropriate responses to these crisis situations that they're experiencing. In conclusion, just a quick breakdown of the importance for a crisis communication plan. Who can a crisis communication plan impact? Basically everyone. If you're in a situation that you would dub a crisis, whether it's a situation at work that could affect your employment and how to deal with that, whether it's a social setting, whether it's, the release of photos, whatever, that can, who that can help and who it can impact are two very important things to realize, that this isn't just for organizations and major players and CEOs and celebrities. This is something that we as students and we as business professionals can utilize as well. When should a crisis communication plan be put in place? Immediately. This is something that as adults and as people in a world that is so reliant on digital technology, this should always be in the back of our minds. If someone tags an inappropriate photo of you out at the bar on Facebook or on Twitter, or accidentally tries to send you a direct message on Twitter and accidentally tweets it and tags you in it, these are things that even a very basic idea of how to address that sort of quote-unquote crisis you should be aware of as an adult using these social medias and all the different technologies that we as students and young professionals use. How can every person benefit from some sort of a crisis communication plan? Basically everything that I've touched on and addressed, that we do live in such a digital world and we rely so heavily on technology and on our iPhones and social media. And with that being said, a crisis communication plan, sooner or later, we are all going to run into situations that could be dubbed a crisis. And I personally plan on being overly prepared for that situation instead of underprepared and having it become more of a crisis because I didn't know what to do. Thank you all so much for listening to my presentation, and have a great night.